are dying, and our survival depends on them. That's why 4RB's created the Pure Wave Cell, a breakthrough quantum device proven to help hives thrive, doubling colonies and boosting honey production naturally. Every jar of our Pure Wave honey fuels this mission, supporting beekeepers worldwide. Visit 4RBs.com. That's the number 4RBs.com, and use code WITF for 20% off. Save the bees. Save us all!
Where in the Folk is not and should not be viewed as a news source. Any names, places, or likenesses mentioned are purely fictional, and any information discussed is purely speculative. Guest opinions are their own and do not reflect those of anyone else. Where in the Folk is not responsible for content accuracy of any stories that are told or what people do with these stories. This show is vulgar, sometimes graphic, and due to its content, it should not be viewed by anyone, actually.
Welcome to another episode of Where in the Folk. I hope everybody's had a tremendous 4 or 5 freaking days. And
We're not late.
We're not late. You know, anyway,
why would you call us out like that?
Anyway, thank you for joining me, Cecil, totally up there, Steven, and we got a return person, Jeremy. He's recently returned from the Congo. Strange. We play 15-minute segment, like 10-minute segments of old episodes, and I played one with Jeremy on it last Friday. And as you can see, he's lost a lot of weight, so they were starving him over in Africa.
No comment.
But this is the type of episode that all of our audio listener only people love. We're going to be watching videos.
Hey, they can hear the audio. It's all good.
Audio,
yeah.
But yes, I did call you out, Linda, because you were super late, way later than we were, by the way. But I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Unless you guys got anything you want to talk about. You want to talk about anything? Is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, I've got stuff to talk about, but we still are doing the Friday Night Live stuff, so I got to keep some stuff in the pocket. But did you see the stuff, the hot mic that the Campbell Soup dude got caught on?
Oh yeah, yes.
The VP of Campbell Soup got caught on a hot mic saying that that food is for poor people, and that he would never feed his family 3D printed chicken. And like bioengineered chemicals and stuff. It gets really bad, but for the Friday show, I'm going to get together all of the sub brands that are under Campbell's, because there's a lot, including like Rouse.
Well, that's a hot take for sure.
Yeah. You can read on the Campbell's can that it's bioengineered.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah, but he literally said 3D printed meat, like on the microphone.
I didn't know they were already doing that. Like, I thought it was going to be very expensive to do that. I'm kind of impressed, not going to lie.
You still eat at McDonald's, though.
Yeah, I mean, hell yeah.
Well, not anymore, since they
Yeah.
pissed you off again.
It's been a minute since I've ate at McDonald's, and they got a bent flagpole from the last visit, so that's their own fault. But anyway, so we'll get right into this video. This is one called "The Story of the Pilgrims," but it may be a lie. Let's see. I hope that we have audio on this. This looks like somebody from our hometown.
Super bad conspiracy theory for entertainment purposes only. I've been doing ancestry research and figuring out where my ancestors came from for 15 years. And 15 years ago, I went to England to see where they came from. And I had to go up to a stranger to try and figure out where the house would have been, because I wasn't seeing any houses around. I found the cemetery where my ancestors were buried. I found the hill with their name. It was called Hatch Hill. Well, a stranger says to me, there's no way your ancestors lived here 500 years ago, because if they did, they would have lived in this palace, which is called Fillet Castle in Devon, England. Sure enough, all my ancestors were buried in the cemetery for this castle. So for the last 15 years, I have done more and more ancestry research and figured out how I'm related to almost anyone major in American history through the original settlers in the 1600s. So my wild theory is this. Well, it's been proven that the black outfits that the Pilgrims wore were not real. That began in the 1600s. That idea began in the 1600s. But what I can show you over and over and over again is that all the Pilgrims, all the original settlers in the 1600s were the sons and daughters of people who lived in places like this. And it really changes my perspective on American history because we see it as the poor immigrants coming into America to escape religious oppression, but you are the rich kids. This is like Katy Perry's kids going to space and saying they're fleeing religious oppression. The math ain't mathin'. So I'm going to make another video to show you how I'm related to almost anyone in American history, like that's famous, based on the original settlers, because those were the only people who could afford to have 1 million children and keep those children alive.
Yeah, I mean, I thought we already figured that out. Like one of those settlers on the Mayflower, like the majority of the serial killers are related to them.
That's true. Yeah. What was their name?
Jeffrey Dahmer, the great grandfather. I don't know. I don't remember his name. I can find it real quick.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but that just kind of does. You know, I feel like in school we were taught that that it was like the poor people that were fleeing oppression or taxation, etc.
But couldn't this specific example just be some like embellishing the family lineage? Like someone may have had a kid didn't want to be known about, and
That's true too. Yeah, that's a good point.
So you're thinking maybe it's kind of like with Australia, the way it began. It was maybe this was their first version of a penal colony.
Of sorts, like where everybody sent their bastards, I guess.
Right. Yeah.
Or it could be, you know, it seems like they wanted to leave because of taxes. And, you know, maybe they got tired of paying taxes and like, let's ditch this place and go somewhere where we can keep all our gold. That's what I'd do if I had any gold to maintain. Yeah. I can't find this guy's name.
I don't know. See, this right here, I know, Cecil, you've covered Tartaria and Botella, you too. I guess all three of you have, but it's with all the cities that were founded.
Yes.
You know, was this, and somehow this right here be tied into it. And this right here was part of the cover up from the beginning.
Yeah.
That is a good point. Like, because from the way that I understand history and what I truly believe at this point, there was castles, there was all kinds of things already here, mass cities and everything, especially in the 1600s. So yeah, they could just came over here to try to incorporate. Basically, I mean, we definitely didn't get rid of taxes. It may have a little while.
I mean, I don't. That brings up a really good point, though. I don't really believe anything like pre-1920 history.
Yeah,
just because of how much weird stuff there is all around America, like the books that talk about Egyptian style architecture in Lexington, Kentucky, and out west and stuff, the Sphinx and the Grand Canyon, all that stuff. And then the founded pieces where you've got these very ornate buildings and the great expos and all the stuff that we talk about. So yeah, I mean, I guess maybe they sent expeditions to like uncover these lost cities or something.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know, man. I'm right now, the only thing ringing through my head is taxes, and I feel like eventually I'm gonna have to pay a tax on this sweet ass beard, and I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. I'm gonna probably shave it or something. Like, you gotta pay tax on anything anymore, man. It sucks.
Wouldn't the theory of like the richer society being able to fund those sort of trips, wouldn't that sort of fit into that?
100. 100%, because they had to get the boats. Boats were a big commodity, and that's hard to get. They wasn't drifting logs over here. You know what I mean? They were massive
Right.
boats. They supposedly broke down to build their towns.
Well, yeah, the last show we played a couple videos. It was around Columbus Day, and we played the videos on Columbus and some of the curiosities about his trip. Like that he had a Hebrew speaker, like a translator, and it was documented that they were used.
Yeah.
So just like curiosities like that around that trip, it almost makes you wonder if like somebody came back and was like, we found all this stuff in an unknown land. There's cities like uncovered, you know what I mean? Like just like a secret trip, a secret expedition.
Yeah, they probably came over here and seen people like chilling on the beach, smoking buds, living their best life, and like these guys have no conflict. We need to change this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's too much peace.
There's too much peace over here. I don't
Yeah.
like it. It makes me feel dirty.
Right. I don't know. To me, a bunch of this stuff right here could go back to. To me, my guess would be a lot of this stuff would have to go back to the Phoenicians. They were the ones that had the big ships back in the day. 3,000 years ago. They could have. It's their reports of the Phoenicians having ships large enough to carry large numbers of people. So, in history, if we remember, history is simply his story. So,
Dang right.
So that right there, I don't know, it's question everything. That's from one of those with the Dr. Regenerator. Is that one of his? Isn't that his saying on TikTok?
Yeah.
question everything. So,
Yeah. And that's a really good channel for like all things old world and all the old architecture. And he's got videos of like the water fountains. Like I think we saw that video the last time, the water fountains that were in the Chicago World's Fair in the 20s.
Oh yeah.
That sort of proved that the buildings weren't made of plaster like they said. But yeah. Where do you want to go to next, Cecil?
Johnny can't read. But
Okay.
he sure can jam. What's that song? Johnny plays the guitar and you can too. I don't remember. Anyway, wait, what is that damn song?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Same.
All right, never mind. Johnny can't read. Let's see what's happening with Johnny here.
Can't read.
My child is in the 2nd grade and can't read.
I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
Over the past 30 years, many American children stopped learning to read.
Around 40% of our 4th graders can't read at a basic level.
I can't do it no more. I can't do it.
Why can't they do it? Because of how they're being taught.
The power that we are going to learn today, it's called picture power. Can we say picture power?
Picture power!
She's teaching reading using balanced literacy, a technique pushed by teachers' colleges that's supposed to make reading more fun.
The learning goal would be that the children were able to use a picture to figure out an unknown word.
They're training the kids to be bad readers.
Niels Hoven, who designed an app that teaches kids to read, says,
if you ask any parent who's teaching their kid to read, it seems fairly obvious. You teach them the letter sounds and you teach them to blend those sounds together, and then your kids start reading.
That's called phonics. The National Institutes of Health says systematic phonics instruction produces significant benefits.
For some reason, for the past several decades in our school, this is not the way that they teach reading.
One reason is that liberal activists said phonics drills take the joy out of reading.
They're so boring. I swear they do a better job than Nembutal or Trazodone putting children to sleep.
This balanced literacy teacher actually discourages her student from sounding words out.
Stop doing that. Stop. You can't sound out. I don't know why you started doing that.
Instead, the child should
look at the picture
and try to guess the word. Balanced literacy was widely accepted until 2 years ago, when podcaster Emily Hanford released a series called Sold a Story. Parents told her,
it didn't seem like they were really teaching them to read. It seemed like they were teaching them to sound like they could read.
States quickly started passing new science of reading laws that put more emphasis on phonics. That upsets education professors like Andrew Johnson.
I'm
You
a
can-
bald-headed
You can kill it. I think we can talk about it.
students how to teach phonics for the last 29.
So they stopped teaching phonics.
Well, I mean, what's wrong with phonics? I was hooked on those forever.
Well, Lana made a good point. The kids read picture books. That's basically what they're doing, is just like picture identification rather than actually interpreting the word, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's kind of, what's the difference between the way they did doing this, they're doing this now, and like when we was in kindergarten, it's like A, and they had a picture of apple, and it went A as in apple.
Well, it's phonics. Phonics is
Yeah.
like phonetically sounding something out.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they're discouraging the art of trying to sound it out. Like the whole time is cyclical now. It's going to get back to caveman paintings.
Yes.
Wrong.
But yeah, apparently the literacy rates are like way down on kids' abilities to read.
First math and now reading. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's without those basics, you're going to struggle as an adult to take care of your finances or anything else. You know.
Yeah. Well, they took cursive writing away. That eliminates people, future generations, be able to read old documents. They've changed math to where it's Common Core. I still don't understand Common Core math. I don't
No.
Nope.
I've seen some of those math problems. Foreman may be like the best equipped
mean,
out of all of us, but
yeah, he's autistic. He figured it out.
I just mean like, I'm sure you've seen your kids is like work and stuff, but
Oh yeah,
I don't get it. I've seen people do the problems that way, and it ain't clicking.
yeah. I've had them try to explain the Common Core to me, and they can't even explain the concept. From what I know, it makes
4
no
plus
sense.
4 is 8. I don't have to draw a box to figure that out. Like,
No.
it was beat into me. You take 4, you put 4 right there. That's 8.
Yeah. You're holding up this many fingers. Just count each one. Yeah, that's so.
It's
So
a
this
dumb-
right here. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying it's a dumbification.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, this right here dumbing people down. You know, it's to me, it's you want people smart enough to follow directions, follow instructions that they've been given, and it's not promoting free thought or anything else like that. You know, I know a lot of people who can do, I guess we would call it basic math. They can do it in their head faster than a lot of people can do it with pencil and paper, you know, for sitting down trying to figure it out. But the way that people do that, you know, they have their own system for doing that, figuring out math problems in their mind. And, you know, none of that stuff right there is really accepted anymore. You know, you have to show the same work and stuff that the teacher taught you. You do anything different from that, then it's not acceptable.
I believe that, Jeb.
I believe that too. Yeah, and public education is a joke. It really is, and it was started as like, you know, getting people ready for the workforce is basically what the way that our public education is set up now.
Well, if you heard the dude, the dissenter of phonics in that video, he's like, it's just boring. Like, who cares? Like, as long as it's teaching you how to read, like it don't have to be enjoyable. You know, not everything is like a pleasure outlet.
Well, I was joking with Tully. It's been probably a few months now, but I told him I had a revelation about what the pink drink did to me back in grade school, Cecil. So my revelation of the pink drink was it gave me a superpower. It gave me the ability to do and understand a lot of things with a basic understanding of them, being able to develop that. But it took away every bit of drive and motivation to self-improve.
I agree.
I think it was a means to like for that generation, for other generations like it, to take away the willpower, so to speak, but give them the basic needs to be able to function. And now this is the next step of that. It's still give them the direction and being able to take direction, but now let's dumb it down even more for them.
That makes a lot of sense. I'm starting to. I've actually got a new theory about what those drinks were. Extra strength Tylenol.
You stupid.
All right, man. Think about the people that came from there.
Well, I mean, the other thing to consider, if you continue dumbing people down, then it's not going to be that offensive to those people who never received a good education the way that, say, maybe our parents did, or someone like that who was taught real math, knew how to read and write, could read cursive, block print, whatever. It might have been a simple education, but it was a good education that benefited them for their whole life. And now, in probably the next 5 to 10 years, so many jobs are going to be taken away by AI that, the people who don't read very well or do math very well or do anything else very well, this will be like, oh, cool. This makes my life easier.
Yeah. Exactly. And I mean,
Jeb, the decline started happening around 2015. So about 10 years ago.
I feel like it was sooner, man. But all right, I'm gonna make a weird
maybe the sharp decline that we're talking about happened around that time, but really like nothing has compared to around the early 2000s level of reading.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, if you want to see how it's working,
well, that too, yeah.
Think about the way that we used to cut each other down, or the little inside jokes we had when we were kids. It was mean sometimes, and some of our inside jokes were funny. Now it literally means nothing. We were talking about it earlier. The 6-7 thing means nothing.
Yeah, the 6-7 thing's dumb.
And when we were kids, the things we said might have been mean, but they had some kind of back behind them, like they meant something. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I just realized Lynn's in the chat column. Hey, Lynn.
Get out, Lynn.
No, I don't disagree with what you're saying, Jeb. I didn't know if that's the kind of the approach you were trying to make, but also, we all had McGraw-Hill books, so we were literally. That's interesting, Larry. Hey, if you know how, Larry, drop it in the chat. We'll talk
because
about
we've been trying to figure out. I've asked youngins. I'll run into a little 8-year-old kid at Walmart and be like, what's 6-7 mean? Like, after he stopped crying, they can't explain it.
Okay. To Larry's point, I saw that it originated in some sort of rap song, but I didn't realize the rapper had ties to voodoo.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know that either, Larry.
So it's trying to bring a curse on everybody who is talking about it or whatever.
I know Mandy loves him, but that's how I feel about Labubu too.
Yeah, dude, we have a bunch of them and they terrify me.
I think people were drawing similarities to Pazuzu, like the demonic figure.
That's what it is. She's got so many of them that she's put them around the house, and they're just kind of like acting like they're doing stuff, like hanging over like cups and stuff. It scares the hell out of me. I don't like little monsters, like little things. Well, my wife puts clothes on them, so.
Well, but yeah, we've beat the dead horse on McGraw-Hill. But if you didn't know, Jeb, like I'm sure if you know about like the Jimmy Carter thing, I'm sure you already know about McGraw-Hill and that it was Ghislaine Maxwell's father that was involved in the creation of all that. That's why it's a very limited worldview, and you don't learn about a lot of global happenings when you're in school. Like you got to learn about it like this in conversation.
Yeah, because those books were pretty much designed for the Goyen to have to learn from.
We're talking about little boo boos and
Yeah, I know that. I know that sounds like. I know that sounds completely crazy, Jeb. But just Google like Robert Maxwell, McGraw Hill. He was tied into a lot more than just that. But you know, you've got a probably the precursor to Epstein. Friends with all of the intelligence people. He was friends with people in MI6, Mossad, the KGB, and the CIA. And he heavily influenced you know, a lot of we did a whole episode about this. If you are bored in a car or something, go back and watch the Epstein episode that we did.
Yeah, anything to do with Epstein's a blast for sure.
Well, that was rough because that kind of stuff's hard to talk about. Well, I think we did like 2 hours on it that day. But anyway, what do we got? Pull up something happy, man.
Well, I'm going to do this Tyson here. Let's do Tyson. Let's get things.
Tyson shutting down a plant isn't an accident. It's what happens when 4 corporations run America's entire meat supply like a cartel. This isn't market conditions, it's corruption, and it's bought and paid for influence. It's decades of political donations and lobby money letting the big 4 do whatever the hell they want. And when they close a plant, ranchers get crushed, and consumers pay more, and communities collapse. And the monopoly gets even tighter. This is the game. Choke out competition, shrink processing options, and force the entire country to rely on a handful of companies, some of which aren't even American owned. This is why I built the American Rancher Alliance, because if we don't break this cartel now, they're going to own every ounce of food you eat.
It's already close.
Yeah.
I showed Cecil a video a year ago. We were talking about the acquisition of Jersey Mike's by Blackstone. And the sandwich last year, the dude's holding it in the camera and he's like, you don't think the CEO of BlackRock and Blackstone are looking at this being like, what if we just take 2 slices off? How much money can we save? Mm-hmm. And the meat on the sandwich was like this. And he showed the same sandwich a year later. It's 40 cents more. And the meat is like this, like a paper thin layer of meat on the sub.
Really?
Yeah, it's absolutely gut wrenching because Jersey Mike's is awesome, and that's what made it awesome. Is it was good servings, just like how Chipotle used to be.
Chipotle. Interesting fact: I've never liked Chipotle.
You know, I've never been a big fan either. But the portions used to be huge, and it used to be like $8, and now it's $40 for 2 burritos.
Just like you got to pay 25 cents for hot mustard. And when you pay the 25 cents for it, they don't give it to you. Fucking assholes. But anyway, I regress. I mean,
You regress.
We've regressed too.
I've regressed to my infant stage.
You mentioned Epstein, and I'm having audio issues.
Nice.
That tends to happen.
Yeah. Oh no, man. The whole meat situation, like, I don't know. I'm kind of scared about that. Everybody should get some hogs and some cows. I feel like if you got any like land at all,
or if you can afford to have your own. If you can't afford to have your own, you know, support your local farmer coalitions, like the lady was talking about. If you can still get, you know, Amish or Mennonite beef, do that. Better than supporting Tyson.
Yeah, tell him to pull that trigger on going in on half a cow or whatever we talked about years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or go out and get you a deer. That'll last you a while.
Yeah, I've never been hunting.
It'd be so fun to hunt with Jeremy. I haven't been hunting in years, like literally since I was like 15 for like wild game or anything. But
Really?
yeah, it's been a long time. I'm lazy. I'm a naturally lazy person. I don't like getting out early in the cold.
Yeah.
I can't argue with you.
It really makes you question your decision whenever you're trying to set out on a deer stand. It's 30 degrees outside. It really makes you question whether or not you have a full deck.
Well, you still hunt, don't you?
I do. So far this year, I don't know. I may as well not been out. I haven't been out very much. Maybe in the next few days, I'll get a chance to actually get out there and spend a little time with it. But,
my favorite thing to do is like whenever it's hunting season and people's like, I got too much deer meat. You want some? I'm like, sure, I'll take some. That's how I hunt. But
yeah, that's something here. I don't know. I mean, we've got people from Florida and Georgia up here hunting on WMAs and stuff like that. And I honestly don't think we have the deer population that we once had. Just to be honest about it, I don't know. I'm thinking we have more big cats and wolves or hogs or whatever. Bobcats are getting fawns. I don't know. I think we have too many predators out here now, keeping the deer at lower numbers than what they've been in a long time.
If it's funny to me because everybody around here's got deer frenzy or whatever, and I can walk out my back door in the morning, there'd be like 6 of them in my backyard.
Yeah,
like every morning. So, and I'm waiting for the day that I'm out there with my dogs and one gets dropped. Then I'm gonna go ape shit because that's in my.
Oh, you mean like one of your dogs?
Yeah. But let's go ahead and see this Mandela effect exposed in real time.
Yeah, that's the way, Jeb. Mandela.
Okay.
Yeah.
Probably the 4th time I'm making this video because TikTok keeps on taking my stuff down. So stay tuned on what I'm about to show you. I'm gonna go into my safe here and show you a couple Mandela effects that I'm now gonna come out and show them to the world. So look at what I got here. Oh, hold on. So I got the Berenstain Bears, not Berenstain Bears. Berenstain. It's an actual book. I also have the Shazam VHS. And last but not least, it's paint, by the way. It's not what you guys are all talking shit before. Hold on, let me find the tag on these. If you guys can see the cornucopia. Cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom tag. So Fruit of the Loom denies ever having a cornucopia on their sweatpants. Yeah, so Fruit of the Loom denies ever having a cornucopia on their sweatpants. The Berenstain Bears are saying it's always been the Berenstain Bears. And there's also saying that the Shazam video never existed. I also have a old jar of Jiffy peanut butter that they're saying it's always been Jif, not Jiffy. I'm proving all the Mandela effects wrong, right? However you want to take it. I'm proving the Mandela theory. So if you see this video, share it, like, follow, comment. Let me know how you were taught growing up. Because TikTok keeps taking my stuff down. It's not a conspiracy, guys. It's real life shit. So just keep sharing this video. Share the video. Get it out there to as many people as you can. I had about 100,000 followers before my.
You think that's real?
No. Just because the book, the book it's too new looking. Like,
Yeah.
But what about I mean, he would have had to have made the sticker on the VHS and everything.
You
Like,
I would imagine there's a market for this sort of stuff now. People making and selling, the real copies of things, the pristine state of the book, of the VHS tape. I know, Cecil, don't you collect a lot of movies?
yeah, and books. It wouldn't look like that. Not unless he's left it in the safe since then. Like if he was in the 90s, like I'm gonna need this shit to prove the man. Put it in the safe in the 90s.
I love that comment, by the way. I love that's what he keeps in the safe.
Yeah.
His paint stained cornucopia pants.
Yeah. Well, he's not the only one to debunk the Mandela effect about the cornucopia. I remember there was another woman who found some.
Oh yeah.
Found some stuff. She actually had it. And there was somebody else who had actually debunked the Shazam.
Yeah.
They said that was a movie that didn't exist. She actually had an older copy of it from like the 80s or 90s or something like that.
Yeah.
And what's funny about it is even Sinbad himself said that he never made that movie, but he was clearly in the movie.
You think what's going on? Like, are they doing it? We talk about this every year. Do you think they're doing it like to see what they can get by with?
Now the Shazam thing, before we go into that, I know for a fact I owned Shazam. I own Shazam and I own Kazam. I own both those movies because I was big into genies. Don't question me. And I was like,
what's the scene from the Sinbad one? Because all I can think of from Kazam is the cheeseburger falling from the sky scene. Do you have a memorable scene from the other?
From Kazam?
From the Sinbad version.
I was about to say, Crystal, I know I screwed up your name the last time you looked like that on YouTube. I was sitting here, I was like, I know that's not.
Oh, yeah, we wasn't saying see Shannon for sure. What was we?
I was saying, hey, Shannon, because I didn't know who it was.
But to be fair, in Shazam, he had two youngsters with him, and they would get into all kinds of mischief. Now, I don't remember shit from Kazam. I just remember that Shaq dressed in gold.
Yeah. I remember there was like a rain scene or something.
Yeah, the cheeseburgers.
Yeah, like it's been so long ago since I watched either one of them. I can't remember. Like if you told me tomorrow that Kazam didn't exist and Shazam did, I'd be like, yeah, okay. Like I remember both of them, and I couldn't tell you either one because it's been a long time and my memory shot.
To me, all this right here falls under Project Mockingbird. Until everything the American people believe is a lie or they don't believe anything, that's when they're going to know that they finally succeeded.
I've got Mockingbird embedded into our episode for the total control, the span of total control.
Ooh.
If everybody's free, we'll do that Saturday. That's going to be the episode 200. This is 199 and a half.
Well, then once Friday, 199.7.
I was going to do 0.9 on Friday, and then the span of total control or whatever I called it.
If something happens and we can't run on Saturday, next Friday will be 199.92.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to keep running it like that so we can do the global domination episode. But basically what it's going to amount to is like everything that's out there that's in place currently to control us and technology upcoming, like from electronics listening to electronics mapping your home, patents that the government has to read your thoughts, artificial intelligence, all the DNA cataloging, thought manipulation, chemicals in the food, the water, the pharmaceuticals, censorship. So basically just the whole gambit on total control is what we're going to do for 200.
Noise.
You got more Mandelas?
I got more Mandelas. I got Mandelas for days. For days.
6 food Mandela effects. Number 1, Popeyes. A lot of people remember Popeyes with an apostrophe in it. But guess what? In this timeline, Popeyes doesn't have apostrophe in it. It is just Popeyes, one word, no accent. 2, Chick-fil-A.
I've got to restart this because how did he spell Popeyes on this?
A lot of people Mandela effect.
Silent
Number 1,
for a second.
Popeyes. A lot of people remember Popeyes with an apostrophe.
I don't think that's how you spell it.
Maybe that's the Mandela effect. Maybe he remembers it as Popo eyes.
Popo eyes.
Popoys.
What? In this timeline, Popeyes doesn't have apostrophe in it. It is just Popeyes, one word, no accent. 2, Chick-fil-A. A lot of people do not remember it CK. Some people remember it with a C. Some people remember it with just a K. But a lot of people don't remember it with the CK. But in this timeline, it is with a CK. And number 3,
Wait, is that true?
Yes.
CHICK?
Yeah, I remember CHIC.
I remember CHIC.
It ain't though.
To be fair, we didn't have Popeyes or Chick-fil-A near us growing up, but I also recall the C only.
Yeah. All right.
Cup-o noodles. A lot of people remember cup-o noodles, but it's cup noodles. It's always been cup noodles.
Cup-o noodles, dude. I'm gonna search this in real time. Because
We definitely had cup o noodles at my nana's house growing up. So that's crazy.
Dude, it is cup noodles.
Cup noodle, according to this image.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Oh, okay. It was cup o noodles. So Nessun Food brings back the O back to the cup noodles as part of its 50th.
So that one wasn't legit then.
No. Because cup o noodles, like if you were poor, you ate some cup o noodles. That's for sure. And even if you wasn't poor, you just taking a cruise through Poor Town. We had cup o noodles for sure. Let's go ahead and
It's never been cup-o noodles, but we all remember cup-o noodles. But in this timeline, it is cup noodles. And double stuffed Oreos is number 3. Everybody remembers double stuffed Oreos, but did you remember that extra F? There used to be an extra F in there, but in this timeline, it's only spelled with one F. The double in the stuff, there's no F in it. Isn't that ironic? There's no double F in double stuffed Oreos. It just isn't there. In this timeline, it's never been there. Don't forget about Fruit Loops. A lot of people remember Fruit Loops being spelled correctly, U-I-T, but in this timeline, it's F-R-O-O-T. Fruit Loops has never been spelled with a U and an I, but a lot of people remember it. Yep. In the granddaddy of them all, Stouffer's stovetop stuffing. I will stay on this hill, and I will be on this hill. There was a Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, not a Kraft, not anything else, Stouffer's. But in this timeline, it doesn't exist. It is a myth. It is Bigfoot. It is a lore. Nobody's ever really seen it, apparently, but we all remember Stouffer's stovetop stuffing, but apparently it does not exist in this timeline. Those are the 6.
Hey, Alan.
I'm sorry, I was looking stuff up. Now the double stuff trips me out because I remember
I never ate those.
Okay, I mean I had a couple.
No, I mean technically it does help with the new phonetic or lack of phonetic learning. So,
Huh.
one F.
But the Popeyes thing and the Chick-fil-A, sure. But I remember CHIC. The cup-o noodles, yeah, it used to be cup-o noodles. Now it's just cup noodles, which is dumb.
Yeah, cup noodle.
Cup noodles. I remember the I remember stovetop stuffing.
Well, yeah, it was Stouffer's stovetop stuffing.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, Stouffer's, man.
No doubt about it.
Huh?
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was definitely Stouffer's stovetop stuffing. I remember, I don't know how many of those commercials I watched as a kid.
I think there's maybe one more Mandela, or maybe I don't. It may be the same dude.
Might be.
I remember it being. Actually, I don't know, Landa. Do you remember fruit or FROOT? I don't know if I have an opinion on that.
I remember the OOT fruit.
I don't know. That was.
It's the same guy, but it's different. It's animals.
Animal.
Well, play it. He seems to be in a good mood, so that'll keep us out of depressing topics for a minute.
Animals in this timeline. Number one, cow tipping. Cow tipping is not a thing. You cannot cow tip. There's no evidence of you can cow tip. Apparently,
You can't.
It's still a term.
It is a term, but we were kids and we tried this, and it was a disaster. Yeah, you can't tip a cow. They're pretty steady.
that is not a thing in this timeline. It's never been documented. It's not a thing. It changed in this timeline. Number two, horses can have mustaches. Yes, in this timeline, horses can have mustaches. Sometimes they shave them off. It's a
That's
thing
legit.
to have mustaches. So horses do not have round eyes. They have horizontal eyes. They do not have round eyes in this timeline. Apparently, we all just misremembered that because in this timeline, they do not have round eyes. The bald eagle is America's national bird. When did it become the national bird? How about last year, December of 2024 to be exact? That is when it became official that the bald eagle was America's national bird. This timeline, there are Civil War camels. Yes, the camels fought in the Civil War. We have American camels, and they're here. They've been here since the Civil War, and there's actually famous ones in this timeline. I did not know that. Number six, it is Smokey Bear. It is not Smokey the Bear. Apparently, it's always been Smokey Bear, not Smokey the Bear. Apparently, we were all just out there misremembering and putting does and stuff because it's never been Smokey the Bear. It is Smokey Bear.
All right. Those right there are a little harder for me to get behind.
Smokey the Bear used to have a shirt though.
Yeah.
Hey, like he used to wear overalls, and apparently now he's always been shirtless.
The origin of Smokey the Bear was it was a bear that got burnt during one of the wildfires, and they brought it in and they used it as something to, I guess, try to bring make everybody think about it, before they walk off and leave a fire burning or something like that at a campsite, something like that.
Yeah.
So
Another thing that Landa's baffled about the horse mustaches. I'm baffled about the horse eyes. Like I remember them being round.
the last time I was around the horse, they still had round eyes.
They don't. Because they used to take us to Keen. Well, I used to go to Keeneland a lot, and I remember distinctly being up close to those horses, and they had round eyes and not goat eyes.
Yeah,
Right.
Goat eyes.
Yeah.
It's creepy looking.
Yeah.
The American eagle, the bald eagle, that nurture really surprised me because the eagle holding the olive leaf, the olive branches, and the 13 arrows and all that is on our Great Seal. It was a debate back when Benjamin Franklin was alive because Benjamin Franklin said that a turkey would have been a better symbol for our national bird than an eagle.
Yeah, I thought it was always more about the symbology of it.
Well, the turkey was the national bird at first. I'm trying to find out right now if
I know Benjamin Franklin wanted it to be our national bird and not the eagle.
Yeah, that's what I always remember is like he proposed the turkey, but it ended up being the eagle.
Yeah, it wound up being an eagle.
Because I mean, it's on all of our Tinder, like Steven's saying. Yeah. It's everywhere in America. Mm-hmm. And why would we do that if it was a turkey?
Right. So,
I mean, a turkey would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
they're the fanciest chickens you can get, bro.
Well, that's why for the thumbnail tonight, it's a turkey fighting an alien.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, dumb Ben is right.
I mean, Ben Franklin was probably a serial killer too. So
I do remember the camels in the Civil War, though. I remember that being a thing.
Yeah, Paul Harvey talked about it. Is the reason why I know.
Yeah. Now you know the rest of the story. What do you think about turkeys, Jeremy? You a fan of turkeys?
I love turkeys.
I've gotten so fat I got a gobbler.
You've been taking too many trips to Aldi.
No, I was just trying to think back if we were legitimately taught that it was the national bird, or if it was more just represented a symbol of freedom and all of that stuff, rather than being named.
I always thought it was the national bird, man.
I just
what
think
was
it's
the national bird.
I think it's crazy that they would put that on everything if it wasn't the national bird, though.
Right.
What we do
Like the turkey, the turkey's nowhere other than Thanksgiving.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish they would have went with turkey though. I like turkey better. They're a cooler bird. But
Landa, Cecil's been taking trips to Aldi for their nuts.
Hey, tell me, do you like Aldi's?
You never get me with these. You never do.
No, I mean, do you like shopping at Aldi's though?
I can't hear you.
Do you like shopping at Aldi's?
No, you can move on. I can't hear you.
You like shopping at Aldi's? We're not moving because if you ever go to Aldi's, take a glamour at Aldi's nuts.
Yeah, Cecil a couple shows ago said Aldi's nuts, and we haven't stopped talking about Aldi since.
They've got the best nut selection. They really do. But
you're goofy.
Cecil, you know what they call Brazil nuts in Brazil?
What?
Nuts.
I'm
sorry.
We've ran into a technical issue here.
What's the technical issue?
It's not adding the screen share to the stage.
If you're having problems, I can take it. I'm
there we go.
I've got a wired connection. Oh, this is funny.
This is titled "Funny Ghost Hunt."
It is a funny ghost hunt.
Yeah.
Spirits.
Next time you go to Aldi and you run across the nut section, go, "Hey, Lynn, check out this stuff."
I don't have audio. You're going to start it over.
Wouldn't that be a good thing? Could you get copyrighted?
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Fetty Wap is. You are about to know. Yep.
Okay.
You got Fetty Wap in the bill.
17:30. I'm right here with some hello. Sit your pretty ass on as you came in the door.
Do you know the Hood Classic? I'll never let it go.
And lay it hard with my baby, baby. I just love the mall, I'm getting fly with my baby.
Whoa! Do you not like the Fetty Wap?
I don't care if it's fake. Like that, the production value on that, where something gets thrown at him. People are like, you just woke up a bunch of homeless people, like in the. And somebody's like throwing something, but he goes back with. He's got his phone in that one. He goes back with one of those huge rolling speakers from Sam's. And starts bumping different songs to get reactions.
That's funny. I don't know, man. I'd like to start going ghost hunting again. I've got a lot of stuff.
Imagine being a ghost from the 1800s and somebody comes in blasting Fetty Wap.
I don't even know what songs they played in the 1800s.
Like Skip to the Loo.
Skip to the Loo.
like old folk songs.
Anyway, I'm trying to find something else here, but I don't know. All these look. It's like having Netflix, and you remember back in the day when you couldn't ever find anything on TV to watch. Now you have so much stuff to watch, you can't ever find anything to watch.
Okay, we'll ask like a choose your own path thing. Do you want to hear about aliens, or do you want to hear about artificial intelligence? Because we got quite a few of each.
Oh, we could do McDonald's chicken nuggets.
Is that in the AI grouping?
No. To be honest, I've lost a group in here.
Because there's like, the grouping is up toward the top.
Oh, okay.
Crystal wants aliens. There's an alien section.
Yeah, I see it here. We'll start with Raw.
Shout out to Soldier Boy.
Shout out Soldier Boy. If they ain't playing my music, then I don't care. If they ain't paying me, I don't care.
Aliens.
70 years, the world has speculated what happened in Roswell, New Mexico that night.
Yeah, whatever. I think it's time to finally clear up all this stupid Roswell. If you stick with me for the next 5 minutes, you'll see a lot of secrets.
Wow.
Know more about the subject than just about anybody else. To understand Roswell, you need to understand the end of World War II. As the Allies advanced through Europe, they started to find secret German aircraft in the facilities they were capturing. The Americans also captured German test pilots. Many of these Luftwaffe pilots were sent to the American concentration camp, POW camp for Germans.
I just have to stop it for a second. This is a very handsome man.
Dude, we see him like every time we play videos.
And we would be given amnesty if they worked with the Americans in a group called Watson's Wizards. At the end of the war, this group of pilots was sent throughout Europe to take the German secret aircraft that were captured and fly them back to Cherbourg, France, where they were loaded onto an aircraft carrier called the HMS Reaper and brought to New Jersey. This was an early part of Operation Paperclip, where they brought over German scientists and gave them lives here in America so they could build our military-industrial complex. Specifically, this was called Operation Lusty for Luftwaffe Secret Technology, and the naval portion of it was called Operation Seahorse. The Americans took German secret experimental aircraft, test pilots, and scientists, brought them over, and then spread them throughout the country to various military bases and test facilities. A lot of the test pilots and secret aircraft went to what became Wright-Patterson Air Force Base in Ohio, which figures very prominently in UFO lore. But I think the most interesting planes that made it over and then disappeared were the Horton Flying Wings. These flying wings, built by the Horton brothers starting in the 1930s, could blow the doors off anything that we had. This is a document you can go read on the CIA's archive called German High-Speed Airplanes and Design Developments from August of 1945. This document lists the specifications for a Horton HO-229, which was a jet-powered version of this aircraft. And we know that at least one functioning example of this craft was brought over during Operation Seahorse. The speed is listed at 590 miles an hour, while the fastest thing that we had was a P-51 Mustang that could top out around 450. And the ceiling, the elevation that this plane could fly, was 52,500 feet, while everything else topped out around 40,000. So basically, this jet-powered flying wing was 25% faster and higher than anything we had in the skies. This is where things get interesting and relevant to the Roswell incident. The working version of the Horton Flying Wings disappeared, but we do know that the group that they were given to study and back engineer was Northrop. See, the guy that ran Northrop, Jack Northrop, had been a fanboy of the Horton brothers since the 1930s, when he was trying to develop and back engineer his own version of the Horton Flying Wings that they had brought out years earlier. At the same time that Jack Northrop was getting his hands on some of that sweet German tech, we know that Werner von Braun was starting up our rocketry program, which later became NASA, at White Sands in New Mexico. And we know that the German scientists and test pilots were being congregated around various facilities and military installations to keep them away from the public, and one of these clusters was White Sands. Within the White Sands Proving Grounds, there is a facility called the Northrop Strip. This airstrip was mysteriously built in the 1940s and kept off maps until the 1960s, and the backstory of it is sus as fuck. In this interesting article from the Holloman Air Force Base official website, it states that the Northrop Strip was used by Northrop Aviation in the 1940s to test military target drones. And in 1976, NASA selected the strip as the site for its shuttle pilot training. The craziest anomaly here is that this unknown Army airfield had some of, if not the longest runways in the world. This website by an aviation historian states that the Northrop Strip wasn't even being shown on aviation sectional charts in 1961, that the earliest time it shows up is the June 1965 Roswell sectional chart, and that the airfield is noted as having a 32,000-foot long unpaved runway. That is a 6-mile long runway. As a point of reference, the SR-71 Blackbird spy plane that held all the altitude and speed records flew out of Beale Air Force Base off a 2.2-mile long runway. People that are familiar with the infamous Area 51, it's often touted as having the world's longest runway, and that runway is also 6 miles long. So I'll ask you, what the hell were they flying in the 1940s that required a 6-mile long airstrip? Oh, and it doesn't have just one airstrip, it has two. One goes north-south and the other goes east-west. Most plane crashes occur during the takeoff or landing stages of a flight. And when you see where the east-west runway from this airfield is pointed, it'll all click. As we pull out on the map of the Northrop Strip, we see that 100 miles away in a direct straight line is the location of the Roswell crash. It would make sense to me that if you were testing an experimental aircraft that went around 600 miles an hour and you took off from that airstrip and something went wrong in 10 to 15 minutes, you would crash in that general location. So let's take a look at what we know. We know that Northrop was back engineering the Horton designs. We know that he had an airstrip, a secret airstrip, that was pointed directly at Roswell and was only a hop, skip, and a jump away. We also know that there were Germans all over the area, in White Sands and at the Roswell Army Air Base in their German POW camp. And we know that those German scientists and test pilots were getting sweetheart deals to continue on the experimentation on these secret aircraft. So are there any Horton aircraft that look like what supposedly crashed at Roswell or UFOs in general? Yup. This is the Horton 10 from 1944, a triangular design with a forward cockpit, and it looks suspiciously like the later reportings of the design of the craft from Roswell. And this is Kenneth Arnold, who in 1947 reported witnessing a fleet of UFOs flying over Mount Rainier, only what he reported was not flying saucers, they were flying wings. Some of the Horton craft looked downright alien, including this Horton 13 shown here in flight. Some of these craft flew so high that the pilots had to wear an early version of a spacesuit. Now, do you think if you saw somebody dressed like this crashed in a completely alien-looking aircraft in the middle of the desert, you'd think they were Martians? And people can come out and say things about the memory metal that was supposedly found on the crash site, but memory metal like nitinol was actually developed in the 1940s by Battelle in the Air Force and Oak Ridge National Laboratories. We also shouldn't forget that the wreckage from Roswell was taken to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, then Wright Field in Ohio. And as I told you earlier in the video, a lot of the test pilots and scientists from Paperclip and Operation Lusty came over and were put at Wright Field. So is it kind of making sense now that this doesn't have to be an alien event, that there were human technologies and human programs going on in that exact area that could account for what happened at Roswell? What I'm saying very specifically is that I don't believe that Roswell was an alien event. And now maybe you won't get caught up in any more propaganda. The museum.
Liar. I like his content though. This is a museum of terror.
Everything he says makes sense to me. I mean, it's literally pointed at Roswell, the landing or the airstrips.
Right. And the other thing, I guess just to play devil's advocate, Annie Jacobson, she wrote a book about this right here. The thought that what actually crashed there was Russian. And the reason why they came up with the big cover story, about a UFO landing there was because they didn't want to admit that Russia had invaded our space that deep. So,
well, yeah, you remember the, what was it? We watched a video like maybe 2 or 3 of these shows ago where it was talking about all of Russia's secret bases like this, and that they're relatively close to Alaska.
Yes.
And if you've got something that can go 600, 1,000 miles an hour, it could be in America really quick from that that launch in space.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to need some clarification on that. So was he saying there were no aliens?
Yes.
Right.
He's saying that all the craft that people were, all the triangular craft that people were saying were aliens, was actually just leftover tech from the Nazis and the POWs that we incorporated from paperclip.
So that part makes more sense. Where it's like our stuff only goes 490, but this new age stuff goes 500 something.
Yeah,
I tuned out after he mentioned Watson's Wizards, which I thought was pretty cool that they made a whole team into piss play. So
I don't know, Crystal. I think if you're going to cover it up, it's probably because they want to keep that stuff in the back pocket. Like I don't know what it would take for like Skunk Works or Northrop Grumman to come out with this kind of tech, like on the battlefield. It'd probably have to be apocalyptic for them to bring anti-gravity tech out and stuff that they're working on, which gets into like Bob Lazar and the Age of Disclosure that you were talking about for me, which I still haven't watched.
Yeah, I've only watched part of it, and I didn't realize. I think they were talking about it. It was either the Age of Disclosure documentary or the like the promotional JRE episode that the guy had just recently. But they were saying that the government did come out. I don't know how recently, but they did basically admit to Roswell.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't know that even.
Which makes it even stranger because once they admit it, I'm like, yeah, it's probably bullshit then. It's basically like if I'm not wrong, they came out and they basically said they wasn't sure what it was.
Oh yeah, I mean it's just like all the other stuff. There's one of those videos. I don't know. Let me see what it would be tagged as. There's one of those videos where the lady is testifying in Congress again about the aliens. And let me see. It might be the very top one, the one that says alien disclosure.
The one that I have pulled up.
I don't know. Is it a lady in Congress? I don't.
It's a fella sitting in a podcast room.
Maybe he pulls it up then. Start playing it.
I don't know if this is it.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna just said on a recent Newsmax segment, and the reason she said it might get your attention. Check this out and let's talk.
Quote, non-human life forms that could be interdimensional beings who are visiting us. Can you just explain more to people at home what that might mean?
Yeah, so that's definitely a mouthful, but that is directly based on information that we've received from witnesses, also information that we have obtained and witnessed via our investigations. There's some stuff that I can't disclose of what I have immediately seen in some of these skiffs, but what I will tell you is this is not just some crazy conspiracy theory. Obviously, there's been massive reporting, not just in the United States, but around the world. And this is something that I think everyone kind of, has always had some curiosity about. We're just simply asking the questions.
Yeah, and it feels like we're building towards some sort of disclosure.
So let's break that down a little bit.
Okay, you can stop it.
So Luna said Congress has received.
So she just said that they've witnessed interdimensional beings in Congress, like not in Congress, but Congress. They're saying that in a testimony. And I'm just like, as soon as they start talking about this kind of stuff, same thing with like the non-human biologic beings in the ocean. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, this has to be some sort of smoke and mirrors, like misdirection.
Well, I want to get your take on this. In the brief part of the Age of Disclosure that I saw, the team that was doing all the research, they got so deep into it that certain high-ranking government officials came out to them. Now, here's where it splits. They said, stop looking into this. What you are researching, it's demons. So that's either one, the religious closed-minded rhetoric, or is it that they actually know more information than what it appears? Is it truly demons that they're finding now, or is this the closed-minded rhetoric? It's a cool thought.
J. Allen Hynek and Jacques Vallée both came to that conclusion years ago,
That it was demons.
that it was demonic in nature.
Well, I guess that so when we talk to Stan Deyo, he talks about like ancient beings, like the reason people in like Mesopotamia and the Phoenicians and Mycenaeans and all these people reported like gods visiting is that it was a form of like interdimensional travel. They would, he said that they would talk about when one of these beings came, they basically had like a pyramid set up. And when the being came, he would land at the top of the pyramid and would be glowing, presumably from some sort of radioactivity. And nobody could be around the being or touch it for like 7 days. And each day he would come down a tier in the pyramid. And finally, like on the 7th day, he would be like non-radioactive enough to where he could interact or be around people without making them like sick.
Yeah. So,
but
yeah,
that would play into more of a religious view, I think, of like, you know, or at least like semi-religious, if there is interdimensional travel involved.
yeah, and I mean, what were the Greeks and Romans and all these other ancient cultures? What were they worshiping? You know, because they had statues to these deities or whatever they were. You know, wasn't it in Russia? You sent me a TikTok or I don't know, year and a half ago of a statue of an angel.
Oh yeah, the
From
angel,
Russia.
the Russian angel statues they found. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. You know, and that would have been one of those gods with a lowercase g. You know, is what that would have been that people worshipped. You know, that's you know, you look at all these Jupiter and Mercury and all this other stuff. They're all named after fallen angels, from my point of view or my understanding of it. I mean, of course, I mean, y'all know that y'all know what my worldview is, but still, I mean, I don't. What else are you gonna call them?
It's something.
You know, there's something.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of two paths. Like either you believe in the religious view of like fallen angels, or they're like Anunnaki, I guess is the alternative.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, if you saw like a 20-foot tall person wielding a magic sword, you'd probably call him a god.
Yeah.
I'm really on the. I've really fallen into the realm of thought that it probably is like fallen angels or something along those lines over the years. I used to not have that belief, but the more I looked into these things, I was like, yeah, it's more likely than anything.
Foreman, I wish you were there for that show. Like so Stan is also an expert at like Google Earth. Like he's really good at pinpointing stuff.
That sounded very, you explained that to me. That was very interesting stuff.
Yeah, he was showing us like keys from outer space, like formations that would be like hundreds of feet long that shape a key in multiple places. And he's like, yeah, this is where Neptune or Poseidon's castle was. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of that stuff is in Saudi Arabia, of all places.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a ancient forest below the sand there too, you know.
It's funny that that's one of the people that we never not get along with.
Yeah.
Like out of all the places over there that we're constantly in conflict with.
Yeah.
And they had absolutely nothing to do with 9/11.
Oh, you know, I've got like, let's just call it 30 9/11 videos saved for when we finally want to do an episode about that.
I don't know if I ever will.
All you have to ask yourself is who is celebrating on 9/11?
Yeah.
It's a litany of people, actually.
That cat that owned the buildings was celebrating.
He just took out insurance.
Man, how
Yeah.
lucky was he to not go to work that day?
Yeah.
I was watching something today called "The Luckiest Man on Earth," and it was about him. He
Yeah.
went to work every single day for 20 years straight, and just happened to miss that day.
Yeah. That was the one day he decided to be late or whatever. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the asbestos, yeah, it's totally
Oh,
a
yeah.
coincidence.
Yeah.
Anywho,
Winky dinky. Let's see what this lady's talking about happening down in Vietnam since we're on the demonic stuff.
okay.
Oh, let me turn her volume.
They were there during beings, having the spider beings, having a lot to do with Vietnam. They were there during Angkor Wat. And what really happened there is that these spider beings came in through the portals and basically dried. They didn't do anything to the river. There was a river going right through the middle of Angkor Wat, but they mind control their victims before they kill them.
Look in the comments and see what that lady's name is. That's the reason I saved that video. People were saying that she was credible.
Will's Alpha VTR10.
But that
No,
video with
look in the
1997
comments. They say what that lady's name is.
There's 730. Oh, Carrie Cassidy.
So they're saying that she was basically like an authority on all the crazy stuff that happened in Vietnam. Which I think that video was AI, but she gets into the Dyson goggles and stuff.
Nice. Let's see. I don't know what this one is. Let's do a random and see what this is.
If it's under one, it's related to whatever the one above it is.
Yeah, I deleted a bunch of stuff already. Took out some... It's that guy again. Let's see what he's talking about.
Like $4,000 worth of books, and none of them tell you the whole truth.
Weapons of mass nutrition.
So stick with me for 3 minutes, and you're going to know more about this subject than any of the so-called experts. Today, we're talking about MK Ultra, but not the hand-wavy Trust Me Bro podcast nonsense you see on the internet. The actual documented historical record about what they were actually doing to all of us. Specifically, we're going to talk about an aspect of these studies that nobody wants to touch with a 10-foot pole, and you never see mentioned in any of the books. And that was the study of nutrition to weaponize and use against our population. What do you mean, Museum of Terror? Wasn't this just the use of drugs and hypnosis to try to control people, but in the end, it just didn't end up working, so they just gave up on all of it? No, that's propaganda. That's completely false, and I'm going to prove it. That what they were doing is tricking the human body into releasing adrenaline that was oxygenated into this toxic substance known as adrenochrome, and that was causing schizophrenic reactions. Wait, what? Why don't any other researchers tell you this? Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask them how much they're getting paid to leave that portion out. And most people these days are in a state of what he called subclinical pellagra. That is just before it becomes a major health problems that you need to go to a doctor or to a hospital for. You're operating at this state where you are just starting to see the symptoms. One of the major symptoms is psychosis and schizophrenia. Many people are operating in this state of low-level schizophrenia, psychosis, delusions, losing touch with reality.
Yeah,
they're functional enough to go to work, to pay their taxes, to use their Excel spreadsheets, but they're losing a grasp on reality. And we are seeing this everywhere these days, all over social media. I see it every day in doing what I do. It's everywhere. This is all of the authors that wrote about it before, that were paid to write about it before, that got New York Times best-selling book deals about it before, didn't have a set of nuts to tell us what was actually going on, to describe the entire project. They gave us limited hangouts, limited information, and then all the chuckle podcasters gave them a platform to talk about it. So we thought it was all over and done, that was the whole extent of the story, without ever realizing just what was being done to us, or the fact that there were options to counteract it. We are all completely under control, but it doesn't have to stay that way. I'm trying to offer the information that you need to to get back on your feet. So without further ado, let me introduce Dr. Abram Hoffer's talk on.
So if he's wanting to help us out, then give it to us for free, bro. I mean,
You know what's funny about that is he also podcasts. So I don't know. That's the only Sarah that we used to talk to used to talk mad shit about him.
Yeah. I mean, I like his content, and
I love his presentation skills.
Yeah.
Well, the other one that was above that was also MK Ultra was him, and it had an interview of, I think, of children that they were experimenting on for MK Ultra, or something to that effect.
Let's give it a gander. Let's give it a gander.
Very important clip, and then we'll talk.
I'm Christy Nicola. I was a subject in radiation as well as mind control and drug experiments performed by a man I knew as Dr. Green.
Dr. Green's real name was Dr. Luther Wilson Green, and today I'm going to be the first person to drop a dime on this traitor. According to the U.S. Social Security Death Index, Green was born on November 3rd, 1900, and died January 19th, 1973 in Bel Air, Maryland. So if you'd like to look him up after this video, there's his info. Green was a colonel in the U.S. Army and was their director of research in chemical warfare, primarily through Edgewood Arsenal in Maryland. Over the years, some of the experimentation that he ran on people became public. It was leaked and became known as the Edgewood Aberdeen Human Experiments. Yeah. These projects were being run alongside the CIA's MK Ultra project and other projects throughout different military branches under the umbrella of the Department of Defense. In these experiments, they not only tested common biological warfare agents like mustard gas and sarin, but also the drugs that people came to know and love today, like...
Oh, what happened?
In fact, many of these so-called recreational drugs were first identified via these programs and popularized in youth counterculture by publications and celebrities that were secretly being funded by the same programs. But that's not all. The Army wasn't just experimenting with mind-altering drugs, but also mind-altering control technologies. In fact, you can think of these programs like a Manhattan Project for the human mind. Any technologies that could and are being used against you were tested at that time. Dr. Colonel Green's colleague, Dr. Henry Puharish, who went by Andrea Puharish, is somebody I've taught you about.
You know,
Puharish was also a...
that reminded me, I think we should segue from alien mind control stuff. There's a video in the AI section called the Manhattan Project for AI.
Oh no.
That's happening right now, and I think we should watch that.
Yep.
It's the red-haired lady that we see sometimes, I think.
I can read.
Dre, I think is her name.
President Trump signed an executive order launching the Genesis mission. I'm going to need you to listen up for this one, okay? Because the White House is literally calling it the Manhattan Project for AI Science, which that doesn't sound good at all. Now, Larry Ellison's fingerprints are all over this executive order. And the reason I know this is because I covered literally everything that is in this Genesis mission throughout my Larry Ellison series over the past few months, specifically part 6 and part 12. Both of those are going to be pinned at the top of my profile, so go watch those if you want extra context. The full in-depth Larry Ellison series, Who the F Am I Working For, is also available on my Substack, the Dre Dossier. The link is also in my bio. All right, so what is the Genesis mission? Well, the official description is that it's a national effort to accelerate the application of AI for transformative science discovery. And they're saying that it's comparable to the Manhattan Project or the Apollo missions. So the federal government is basically building a centralized AI platform using the Department of Energy's 17 national laboratories. They're using their
So it's fake.
supercomputer collection of federal scientific data sets accumulated over decades. The executive order is basically directing the DOE to create what they're calling this closed-loop AI experimentation platform, which means that all of these AI models are going to be trained on government data. Now, the priority domains include, but are not limited to, biotechnology, nuclear energy, quantum computing, and semiconductors, aka energy, defense, and health. And they're building out all of these AI agents that are designed to experiment autonomously and test hypotheses and control robotic laboratories. Now, stop and think about that for a second. Autonomous AI systems that are designing and running their own experiments with no human oversight in this loop that's making all of these decisions. Sounds a whole lot like, I don't know, automating the government, automating oversight. Just can't seem to remember.
If we want to automate hospitals and clinics, those hospitals and clinics are not going to be very efficient if the people who regulate those hospitals and clinics are not also automated. If people, if the patients who are making appointments or receiving the results of a blood test and all of it, if the patients are not also have access to that automation technology, you have to automate the patient, the provider, the payer, the regulator, the pharma companies, banks who finance the hospitals, and governments who regulate the hospitals and collect information from the hospitals. You have to automate the entire ecosystem.
That's where I heard it from. Yeah, that. Larry Ellison, ladies and gentlemen. Now, who's going to have access to all that data that's being reasoned on? Well, this is where the private sector angle kind of comes in here, because here's where it gets interesting. The order explicitly says that the Secretary of Energy, APST, and the Special Advisor for AI and Crypto will collaborate with academia and private sector innovators to support and enhance the Genesis mission. Now, they've already announced a few partnerships, being NVIDIA, Dell, HPE, AMD, Oracle, but the truth is we'll never know the entire list of all of the private partnerships that they're going to have. And so now Chris Wright, who's the Secretary of Energy, has 90 days to decide which DOE systems and data can be made available to private partners, what new data sharing agreements are needed, and what security protocols apply. What I almost forgot to tell you, my favorite part, is when Chris Wright says this will help reverse price rises and lower energy prices for Americans. I'm sorry, Genesis is consolidating massive supercomputers that already consume gigawatts of power. And then you're adding AI training workloads that require constant computation. And then you're building autonomous robotic labs that are running constantly. But yeah, sure, the electricity bill is definitely going to go down with this one. Everybody, nobody knows how this is going to be paid for. Like, we have no idea how this is going to be funded, because the White House officials said today, we will leverage all available resources and, with the help of Congress, would continue to invest in increasing amounts for the success of this mission. Okay, so Congress, we're not going to do this like this, right? I get that we have to modernize, we have to allow AI into our government to some degree, but we're not going to do it like this, right? Like, we're going to create new laws and protections around HIPAA protected data, right? We're not about to let the private sector just do a bunch of AI experimentation on our data, are we? But don't worry, guy. The White House literally said on a call today, I think we will see unbelievable advancements in health sciences. So many diseases today that are unfortunate death sentences. We're going to understand the exact chemistry and biology that they are and how to combat that. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and save it, okay? I've heard this pitch before in part 6 when it was all about cancer screenings will save lives, or how about the autism database that you wanted to create to cure autism? Some of you may remember from this video right here where I had you all go over to Oracle's YouTube page and comment, I do not consent to the use of my private medical data for AI training or commercial purposes without my explicit written permission. There's something like that. And then there were hundreds and hundreds of people commenting that, and then Oracle turned off the comments. Yeah, well, there's a reason why I said that, because look at what this executive order says, word for word. The Genesis mission is not intended to and does not create any right or benefit, substantive or procedural, enforceable at law, which in layman's terms means you cannot sue. You can't challenge how your data is being used. You can't demand transparency about which companies get access to your data. You don't even get to question what experiments AI agents are designing with your information, your biological information. No legal standing, zero, according to this executive order, which was signed by the president yesterday. Now, this still has to get past Congress, of course, which brings us to what do we do about this? Congress, we're not passing this. Everybody needs to get loud about this one, okay? I don't know what the answer is. I just know that this, as it's written, is not the answer.
The whole thing is a showroom, though. There's so much lobbying money. There ain't nothing they can do about it. Nothing, because they're already estimating that. What was it? It's some kind of crazy they're saying that by 2030, that a fourth of the population could be out of a job because of AI.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
And I get that like a small portion of those jobs would be repositioned for like people to work on data centers or whatever. Like they're still going to need humans in some capacity, but not 30 million people.
No, it's time to get on the ground floor and let's start working at one of these data centers.
So I may need some insight from you on this because I'm still trying to form this thought as I was listening to that. Is there a constellation between let's take the Industrial Revolution. So prior to that, you know, a lot of manual labor and all of that.
Yeah.
Is that similar to what's happening now with the advancement of AI, but just now everyone is more connected and they can voice their concerns? Because is there not a duality to AI advancement? And I'm not on either side of it. I'm just asking, is there a duality to it? Yes, there's a lot of bad that can come of it, but there's also a lot of good that can come of it as well. And is that shared? Do you think there was a shared sentiment of the Industrial Revolution of going to take my gerb?
To some degree, I agree. It's just when you get into like we were reading case studies where they're starting to put AI into our like defense, such as like warplanes, like F-15s and stuff, and they're having to limit all of that currently because in every scenario, these things will bomb friendlies if it thinks that the greater good is going to be achieved.
Yeah.
So I think that's the only concern there is like, I don't think in the Industrial Revolution that people were worried about like machines taking over the world.
True. I was just trying to tie it to something where there was
It is similar
growth in technology.
It is similar, but it's on a much wider scale now. You know what I mean? Like this is a something like back then when they created
jobs.
Yeah. When they created the boom, you know, it took maybe 2 or 3 people's jobs, but somebody still had to operate it. You know, so it didn't take this potential that this could take every job except manual labor.
You're out in the street pitchforking your Roomba.
Yeah.
Well, but at the same time, you know, look at all the humanoid type robots that are supposed to be online and going here. Do y'all remember the video? I think we all watched it, of the mice. It was an experiment with mice. I can't remember how many mice they had. And what they did is they gave them all the food and all the water they could ever want. They lived in absolute luxury, and how it went from, in just a few generations, that whole group of mice wiped themselves out because they stopped. I don't know.
The struggle was gone.
Yeah, the struggle was gone.
It was they had a bunch of mice. It was I forget what the name of the experiment was, but they put a bunch of mice in a cage, gave them infinite food and water, everything they could need for perfect conditions.
Yes,
and they were, everything was a utopia for a couple of weeks, and then everybody got bored and it descended into chaos. Like they started killing each other and cannibalizing each other and hoarding resources.
Well, to that extent, wouldn't that be where sentience would come into play? If you have the willpower, like the struggle, I'm assuming the struggle you're referring to here is job and everyday life of having to survive. If you take that away, if you take that it's a necessity now, would it be considered a necessity on down the line where you can switch your focus over to other things to better yourself?
No, see, with this right here, I don't know if you're ever looked into much of the World Economic Forum or listened to very much from Yuval Noah Harari, who was Klaus Schwab's right-hand man. And what he was saying several years ago was that the future does not need humanity. You know, basically what he was talking about is we'll have everything. What he wasn't coming out and saying at the time is everything will be run by AI. There really won't be a need for people to have jobs. You know, we can give everybody a universal basic income. And, you know, recently, I shared an article with everyone there a couple of weeks ago from what Elon was saying. You know, with his robots, he thinks that he'll be able to end poverty through AI and robotics. You know, so it's, I don't know. I mean, he's done some good things, and at other times he says things that just absolutely scare me. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's that situation. Like the whole thing that Elon Musk was talking about was, everybody would have a high universal income because we'll be so rich from the artificial intelligence as a nation that you won't have to work. You can go out and jog. You can do this. You can do that. But that's like the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is we descend into chaos and somehow, these big data centers start crashing our grid because they're already requiring more energy than what they're requiring a lot of energy.
I'm just going to send my robot to work for me.
Yeah. I mean, for 20 G's, you can buy one of these robots they're getting ready to come out with. And
God, have you seen the one that's got all the musculature and bones that a human does?
oh yeah, the hands work just like human hands.
It's wild. I think that video's in there somewhere, Cecil.
From Poland is where that one's been developed at.
It looks like a Dragon Ball Z character, like Frieza.
Yeah.
It literally has tendons that you can see through its skin and stuff. It's wild.
So with this right here, talking about bringing all this peace and ending poverty and everything else, is this the goal? For humanity to basically treat itself like the mouse experiment? And I mean, you may have, all of you may have the willpower, to go ahead and not be like some of these viral videos of people going out and just doing stupid, hateful things, hurting people. But I don't have that faith in all humanity.
That's true. Well, there have been people recently that just randomly set people on fire in the subway or whatever.
Yeah. And you got to think too, like, so if all our money concerns are cured and all this and everything turns into utopia, there's always going to be that need for power for certain people. Greed is still greed. People still have greed no matter what. So at the point where we're in a society where we basically have to get this universal income and we say the government sucks and they cut off our bank account, what happens then? You know what I mean?
Well, that's true. If you're not happy with policy decisions and you can't eat that month because of it, it'll be I forget what the name of it was, but the reason that we have an 8-hour workday is because of a conflict similar to that, where it was a huge protest. It was like an America-wide protest because everybody was working like 12 hours a day, 6-7 days a week. And finally there was like a protest. I don't know how else to say that. And there's a huge clash. People died.
We call that a revolt.
But it resulted in the 8-hour workday, and that's how we got there, because it was the pitch was 8, 8, and 8. And the companies didn't like that. And there was a huge I think a lot of people died. I'll have to look into that and remember it all.
4-hour work days.
4
Yeah. It was during the labor disputes with the coal miners and the owners of the coal mines. There was actually some of the coal miners are actually killed by soldiers.
Bloody Harlan, man. Not the one that happened in the 60s or 70s, the show, but the one that was in the 20s, I think it was. They was using and everything. That's how Bloody Harlan got his name.
Well, and I think that's the point to underscore here. I don't think it's going to be like people at our level that are being nefarious in all of this. It's going to be like,
give me a chance.
I don't think you're going to have a chance. I think it's going to be the harbingers of these constructs that are like, you're never getting out of it because I'm making money off of you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very similar to right now. Like, what are you going to do that all of your restaurants and companies and everything you can imagine is being purchased by private equity right now, and there's not a single thing you can do about it?
Nope.
Right. I was going to ask how it differs from right now. If that's the extreme end goal to this is mass control, how is that different? Just with a different veil.
I mean, they're preparing for it. Like, you got to think about what's happening overseas, like in the UK and Europe. They're basically piloting episodes up over there, piloting programs to see how it's going to work and how the people are going to deal with it and things like that. And with all this private equity buying everything up and this AI expanding at the rapid rate it is, a dystopian future is right around. It seems like it could be right around the corner, or it could be, Shangri-La. It could be amazing. It could be awesome.
No, I get you. That's what I would be hopeful of.
I'd be helpful for it. Yeah. I would love to sit at the house and make $100,000 a year and not have to go or do anything except what I wanted.
Well, yeah, I mean that'd honestly be the dream of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the selfish, not selfish. For lack of a better term, the selfish view is let's not move forward with this because it could lead to bad. But that's you talking yourself out of a decision because of all the negatives that could happen, rather than looking at what the positives could be. And I'm not not arguing for either side of it. The selflessness of it would be. I missed that. What was that?
Because I'm gonna kick you in the face, and I'm just joking.
But the selflessness of it would be. Okay, let's get through this rough part of it. Let's see what it can be, so that my children's children could then not have to worry about having to move 3 hours away to get a job and not see the kids as much.
Fair enough. One of my biggest fears, though, is the power.
Oh yeah, the power grid is what you mean, right?
Yeah, the power grid. Because I mean, think about it. Like in the communities where these data centers have been set up for these AI things, they're having blackouts constantly right now, and all they're doing is building more and more and more and more and more.
I just had the statistic a minute ago. It was something like there's already 50 million people's worth of data centers out there.
Yeah.
And extrapolate that 5 more years, there's going to be more data centers worth of power than people in America.
And one thing that should scare everybody.
Do you think our bills are going to go down?
Yeah. With all these data centers popping up everywhere. And one thing that should terrify people about this whole thing is the whole thing for my whole life has been climate change. Climate change is awful. One of the biggest proponents of that has been Bill Gates. And Bill Gates has bought up majority of the farmland in America, which is where they build these data centers. And like last week, he came out and was like, "Oh, climate change ain't too bad."
I see your comment, Crystal. We're nerding out.
Is that not strange that somebody that's been so die hard about climate change has bought up most of the farmland where they're building these data centers, ruining water supplies, causing mass outages? Has just came out and said, "Yeah, actually, climate change ain't too bad."
I mean, when a former president will buy oceanfront property to have their mansion there, I don't think that they're really all that concerned about climate change.
Yeah, it hasn't slowed down the oceanfront property market for any of them.
No.
And I don't know,
but I'm leaning toward I want the universal income. I don't want work anymore.
Stop. Get out of here.
I know. And I use AI every day. I make pictures all the time.
We haven't seen a new one to tell you yet. I mean, I've got the Men in Black telly. So
the video that you need to hit, Cecil, it's called Humanoid Robots.
Humanoid robots. Yeah, let me get that up.
There we go.
Anyway.
You know the uncanny valley where I don't know, like everybody's been to a wake. Like that's what that reminds me of. Is just like you're looking at something that isn't real anymore.
Yeah, how was that you and not you? That's
There's- Tully's been involved in a lot of things over the years.
See, Cecil,
That looks like if me and Hezbollah had a kid.
It's getting better every day. Anyway,
yeah, Cecil, I'm starting to wonder now if Tully really isn't Saint Germain.
I think he might be, dude.
I don't know. If I was Saint Germain, I'd find something better to do with my time. Figure out Ormus or how to recreate my alchemical successes.
I mean, check this out.
This is just your free time period. You'll get
Anyway, let's watch this video.
The music, though.
I could do without the Michael Myers gate.
They're saying that this is the one where they can train it to scoop your cat litter if they. And this is the one where if it's not doing what you want it to do, they will get a human overseer to watch it try to do it and correct it in real time so that it can do what you want it to do.
Yeah. This is a 6-minute video. Where's the cool stuff, man?
No, kill this one and do the one that Stephen and me were talking about is it's titled Robot Nightmare. I just looked.
Robot Nightmare.
Because it's like connected alien style. Like it's wild looking.
Yeah.
I feel pretty, oh so pretty. I feel
Wildest things I have seen, and this is not your average robot. This is the Clone Alpha by Clone Robotics, and this contains all 206 bones that the human body contains, and they are fully articulated with artificial ligaments and connective tissues. Now, they're very high on the hand function of these robots. I'm going to show you the raw clip in a second, but just listen to this. The hand functions with human-level thumbs, surgical precision, a trigger finger, and it is compatible with human tools. And it's not going to walk like other robots. It says, finally, a robot that walks naturally. And it says, do it once and the clone will do it forever. They have a telekinesis training platform. I don't even know how that's possible. This technology is absolutely insane. I guess you can reserve one of these things this year in 2025, but just check out the raw clip and the music that they used.
That walks around like me when I'm drunk.
That's like Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it looks like. It's very strange.
I just wonder if they have a organoid in there instead of a interface.
Yeah. Well, I think that's how quantum is going to happen, is with the brain organoids they're doing.
Yeah.
That's how the consciousness upload starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would be teaching it DX crotch chops all day, though, if I had one. It says you do it once, it learns it forever.
I've made so I play WWE 2K25 just in like when I'm listening to podcasts with the audio off, and I've made at least 23 custom characters, and they all do the crotch chop. At least some version of it. Some of them's got Xbox. Some of them has Triple H's. Some's got badass Billy guns, you know.
Let's see. Let's do one
Mandy
more.
crotch chopped me the other day. I was like, "Why don't you go in there and do something?" She went.
I try to see. Maybe let's do a cryptid one.
A cryptid one.
Yeah, let's do a cryptid one.
Oh, you know what cryptid one's up, brother? Oh, here we go. North Carolina cryptids. We're gonna have to cut this.
We'll end on a high note.
Yeah,
with the cryptids.
I've got to get up in 4 hours.
I'm good enough.
One? You're getting up at 1?
Well, Mandy's getting up at 1, so I'll get up in 5 hours. Yeah.
Ooh, man.
Let's see. Y'all, this woman in North Carolina upload this thing. Let's see.
Some crazy camera footage from outside of her house. This was taken in her backyard. She has one in her backyard, one on the side, other side, and the front of her house. And this thing was captured not only on her backyard camera, but on the side yard camera as well. They said they came home one night. They were turning into their driveway and they saw something in the wood line. So they checked their cameras and this thing showed up on their camera. At first, I was like, that is a creepy looking person. And then I saw the side camera view. This thing jumps on this little wall right here, and then runs away into the woods. And when you look at the proportions of this thing, it is not a human.
Oh,
back it up, Terry.
And when you look at
Did you see that? Did you see that?
What?
Watch right here.
the proportions of this thing, it is not a human.
Did you
I
see
am
it?
not sure.
Oh yeah, I saw what you're talking about.
Like the after image or something?
You think it's AI?
Watch the back right leg.
Woods. And when you look at the proportions of this thing,
Oh,
it is
like clips.
not.
It like drips off or something. Yeah.
I'm not sure what this thing is. But
It's the side camera that I was interested in.
on a 911 call. And what if whatever this is what jumped in the back of his truck?
It's just
I have
William
to.
out there scaring people.
I have to call bull on it, guys. I hate to say that. I believe
That makes
in
me feel better.
Yeah, I believe in this stuff more than anything, man. But that right there, the leg drip, kind of sold it for me. Yeah,
I've
That's
had
what
I've
some-
had bad quality stuff though, even with like cats.
yeah, but messing with like audio visual stuff, you know for a fact that when something glitches, it's not going to drip. I've never seen a drip. You know what I'm saying?
So, I'll have to look. Well, because I think there's something too. So you have those are infrared because it's not Tom, and then you also have the headlights of the car messing with the infrared. I'll have to see like what kind of glitches I get, but it definitely happens. Like weirdness with the cameras at not whenever you've got headlights coming into frame.
Well, yeah, that does happen.
Yeah,
but I mean that was a weird one.
Yeah, this right here may not be legitimate, but I mean, there are a lot of people who've seen some really spooky, freaky stuff similar to this, you know.
There might be That one that's called the Glimmer Man might be a cryptid one too.
Oh, we don't know. Oops.
Well, I just saw you scrolling them. If you want to play another cryptid related one,
Glimmer.
the Glimmer Man. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's a cryptid one.
I'd hope it is, or it's somebody that works at Chippendales. Either one.
That'd be a good one.
It's
That'd be good.
not
That'd
one
be
of
a
your-
good name.
It's not one of your home movies, is it, Cecil?
Mine's called The Nasty Man.
For $5 a month on OnlyFans.
2014, a group of Bigfoot hunters were exploring in Washington state when they caught something on camera that to this day they cannot explain, because after following a trail of small footprints and finding what looks to be a nest in a nearby tree, they decide to take a short rest and discuss what they've seen so far. And that's when something catches Barbara's eye. Now I'll play the clip in its entirety, and then I'll show an enhanced breakdown at the end. Take a look.
Middle, but it broke it there, but it didn't knock down either end. Both ends are still suspended.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so something had to have hit it really hard and really fast right in the middle to break it there, to not break these smaller pieces
That sounds familiar.
that are supporting it at either
Yeah,
end.
that had to been,
Yeah,
like a thrust and not a hang. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? 'Cause if
something
if they'd
hard
have
and
hung on
fast.
it for any amount of time.
Sure. Let's go ahead and start that over.
What the heck was that? Did you see that?
Hang on a second.
Down either end. Both ends are still suspended.
Wow. Pretty cool.
Yeah, so something had to have hit it really hard and really fast right in the middle to break it there, to not break these smaller pieces that are supporting it at either
Yeah,
end.
that had to been,
Yeah,
like a thrust and not a hang. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? 'Cause if
something
if they'd
hard
have
and
hung on it
fast.
for any amount of time.
What the
that
heck was
top
that?
part would've
Did you
came
see
down.
that?
Been-
Yeah, and Sandy's not going. Oh, it's still over there.
Where?
Right through there. I just heard another. Well, that could have been a branch, but yeah, it went that way. Probably shouldn't be pointing. Yeah, something black and close to the ground just took off.
I hear
You may have had your sighting. I did too. No, it took off. It went that way. I saw the weeds shaking as it left. Yeah. It was a small one and it was black. Yeah.
like a thrust and not a hang. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? 'Cause if
something
if they'd
hard
have
and
hung on it
fast.
for any amount of time.
What the heck was
top
that?
part would've
Did you
came
see
down.
that?
Now, it's definitely hard to make out, but after zooming in, people believe this to be a translucent figure that's looking directly at Barbara. And when she notices, it jumps down. And it's important to note that moments after this, Barbara
like
described
the
a
Predator.
small black figure running away. Now, many people believe Bigfoot to be an interdimensional
Wow.
being, while others just call this video nonsense. But I'm curious, what do you think about it?
It does. It looks like the Predator.
Hmm.
I'm with the local thrust expert on this one.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's funny, Larry. I was thinking the same thing.
I mean, it's either harder or hang you.
Shut up, dude.
That one was pretty unique. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
I don't know what that would be.
Magnets.
Magnets. Explain that shit.
How do they work?
So what we just saw was more swamp gas, right?
That's what it had to be. I don't know. I can't explain that one. That's a unique one for sure. I just don't know. Video.
All right. Well, if you're out there listening and you don't already follow us, give us a follow. If you're needing something for Christmas and you don't know what to get this honey. You're about to see another ad about it.
Or rbs.com, the number 4, the letter rbs.com, promo code WITF
for 20% off, and that's more than you can get off like from signing up on their email or whatever.
Oh yeah. It's
Um,
good stuff too.
But yeah, give us a follow. If you're listening out there on BitChute, you're days late. Follow us somewhere else.
Yeah.
If you want to talk shit in real time on BitChute, come to Rumble.
And we appreciate the shit talking. I like it. I mean, I didn't save the quote from the very most epic shit talker on there. I wish I would have.
They said that we were an intellectual circle jerk in a space of imbeciles.
Yeah.
something to that effect.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, go ahead, hit like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your moms. This is the best place to come in for all your weird stuff. And come and join us Friday night as we cover the news that you may not just hear everywhere. And episode 200, what are we doing for 200?
Global domination.
Global domination. So come on out and watch that as well. We'll probably be doing that Saturday, right?
If everybody's free, yeah.
Saturday at 8 p.m. And thank you, Jeremy, for coming to the show.
All right, thanks for having me, guys.
Back from the Congo.
Yep. And I'm sure back to the weeds he shall go.
I thought you would be more tan.
I use sunscreen.
But yeah, thank you.
And happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, I almost forgot all about that. Thanksgiving's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Thanksgiving.
Tomorrow. But anyway, thank you all for watching us because we are watching you.
Peace.